Hey guys, so I'm making a short video on how to stop the ticking noise.
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
It's on a GravaStar V60 Pro SpaceBar, which is probably applicable to other keyboards as well. So this SpaceBar used to tick on this side, but the fix I used actually transferred the tick over to the other side. You can hear that. No tick there. Tick there. So what I'm gonna do is, I've already disassembled this thing. I haven't really pieced it back together. I do know here there's a piece of tape that here, so this is the outer shell. And so this piece of tape goes here, but that shouldn't be too hard to reconnect, so I'm not too worried about that. But so this is the, I don't know what this is called, some metal bracket with all the switches in it. So on this particular keyboard, the stabilizers don't really pop out easily. I had to take it fully apart because they're clipped in from this bottom here. You see that little clip? So you have to push that in and then they can push out. So everyone's talking about lube online. I haven't seen someone do my method. My method's a little different. Some people put soft, like Band-Aid or something inside the stabilizer somewhere, which would probably work, but that's not what I'm gonna try today because I know my method works. It's worked in the past and it worked on the right side here. I don't know if when I apply it to the left side, it's also gonna work. So firstly, I'm gonna take this keyboard back off, or I mean this space bar back off. All right, so the space bar's off. To take this UFO switch off, there are two little tabs on the inside here I can just get with my nails. Pops right out. Okay, so to get the stabilizers out, like I said, you just push that tab in right here, and then they come out, so I can do that with my nail too. It's kind of hard with one hand, but there you go. So that one's out, and now that one's out. So my method, like I said, is a little different. So this is how it's gonna go. So this is the one that's ticking now. So this one I'm gonna leave alone for now. If you've messed with these before, you know how to pop this wire out. Okay, it's hard with one hand, 1 second. All right, so to pop that wire out, you know, it's just clipped into here, so you just kind of rotate it out, but other videos have talked about that, but I haven't seen a video talk about my method here. So what I'm gonna do is, since the ticking is caused by extra space between this wire and then where it goes into like the female part here, the top of this piece here and the wire, there's like a little gap. So when you push the space bar, it closes that gap and it strikes this pretty hard and it makes a ticking noise before it goes all the way down. When what you really want is for this to be pressing up against the stabilizer already so that there's no space there. And so people put soft like Band-Aids and stuff in there. I've tried lubing. A lot of people say lube, but for me, the lube, it works for a few presses and then it just like wears off and the ticking comes back. So what I do is I actually take this wire and I bend it. So there's a little gap, like I said, between the top of this wire and the bottom of the inner like housing or piston or whatever the hell that's called. I don't know what it's called. So what I do is I take this part of the wire, and the way it's on the screen now, I bend it up so that it points like this. Not that much, obviously, but just a tiny bend. So I bend it up so that instead of having that little space, it's just pushing up. So on one side it works. I'm not sure if I do it on both sides, it'll just kind of average out and kind of put it back to the way it was before, but I'll show you how I do that. So I have two, well, first of all, I wipe the lube off so that I can get these tools on. And then I grab, I'm gonna show you how I do it with one hand, and then I'm actually gonna do it off camera because I need two hands, but put one of these pliers on here and just kind of grip it. and then I take another set of pliers and I grab the wire like this and I just bend it up. So I'm gonna do that really quick and show you the difference, I guess. You can kind of see how perfectly flat, that's how it came, and then I'm gonna bend it. Okay, so now you should be able to see the bend in that, pretty obvious. Just a slight bend upward. Like I said, the other side's already bent and it solved the problem on that side. I don't know if when I bend both sides, it's going to, like I said, even out and kind of have the same effect as if they were both flat. But so I'm gonna lube up this wire with, I'm using super lube. I don't even know if I have to, but because lube hasn't really done shit for me except for a few presses. So I have a paintbrush, I'm gonna put lube on there, and then I'm gonna slide it back in, click it back into this, and then reinstall the stabilizer. All right, so I got lube on there. In my experience, this isn't really a lube issue, it's a space issue. But so I will put this one back into the stabilizer off camera, click that in, and then reinstall it. So to put these back in on the V60 Pro, there's like a little hook. You have to make sure it's hooked into this metal piece and it'll kind of just sit there. So if you go too low, the entire thing will go under and it'll get stuck. And if you don't go, well, obviously you can't go high enough because the wire is blocking it, but you have to make sure that that piece of plastic on the far side is over the piece of metal, and then you just press in and click it. And then take your UFO switch, pop that back in, hold on. Okay, and then moment of truth. I've had lots of moments of truth because I've been doing this for a while now. Push that back in. I'm gonna make sure each individual side is fully pressed in, okay? And now test. Okay, so no clicking, but now I'm just gonna press it like 100 times to get through that initial thing of lube. Because like I said, sometimes it works. It works for a little bit and then it wears through the lube and the ticking comes back. So, see, this is how I'd type with it. The temptation here is to baby it because it's like, oh, I don't want it to come back. But really, if I'm typing, I'm gonna be doing this. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Give it a good, I'm not gonna hit it, but I'll give it a few like power taps. Good so far. Hopefully I don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Okay, no ticking. No ticking. So there's no ticking on that side. Still no ticking on that side. Give it like 50 more. All right. I think this is good. Okay, so no ticking. I'm gonna press it a few more times and probably reassemble this thing if it doesn't tick, but there you go. So you heard that before, you heard that ticking before, you saw the bend, and then I guess that's how to solve that, at least for now. If it comes back, I guess I'll give you guys an update. But that is an effective way to do it. I've done this on 2 separate keyboards now, so I haven't seen anyone else talking about that. If you've tried everything, or you know, you're not willing to stick a Band-Aid, which I tried on the wire itself, but it slipped off because of the lube. I think the way you're supposed to put the cloth in there is like in the actual plastic part in the stabilizer, not on the wire. But this works. This removes the gap so that the wire is pushing right up on the stabilizer and there's no more ticking. So I haven't seen a video on this yet. I don't know, there might be, but in my research, admittedly, I only watched a few videos, but I didn't see this solution, and this is the one I came up with, and it works for me. So I hope this helps somebody. Obviously, you have to be comfortable or willing to disassemble the keyboard. So I guess I'll put this back together and I'll check in when it's fully assembled. All right, back plate back on. I'm gonna put these foam pieces and reinstall these switches to get the final sound, but no ticking. All right, switches and keycaps installed. See, these pieces of foam are back in there. So final test. No ticking, awesome. Okay, so what I did end up doing with this is I added some Band-Aid material. I did a fix I saw in another video, because that did eliminate the ticking at first, but there was some, discomfort I had with this. So I didn't get this process on camera, but I'm hoping I can show you what I ended up doing. So I did bend those. I kept that, I bent the corner of the wire like I showed you earlier. And then, I don't know if you can see in there, you see that tiny little, strip above the wire there? That's that little tiny piece of Band-Aid. So I just cut a tiny little strip of Band-Aid, and I put one of each inside those stabilizers on top of the wire there, with the adhesive going up into that stabilizer piece. And so this pretty much solved the problem completely. No ticking whatsoever. I find the SpaceBar is a little loose, like it rotates just a tiny bit, like on the way down. It kind of rotates like clockwise a little bit. But as far as the sound, it's completely healed. So there's a comparison to this other model. So this one came from the factory perfect. I find the better place to order these if you want your best shot at getting a functional unit is from the GravaStar website, because pretty much every single keyboard I ordered from Amazon had some kind of defect, which I used as an opportunity to learn how these things work and how to fix them. But if you just want a functioning unit, I've had better luck ordering directly from GravaStar. So I still think this SpaceBar is better. This is unmodified, no ticking or anything. This was purchased from the website. This was purchased from Amazon, so I had to do a lot of work to this to get it to sound right. I could have returned it, but I'd rather not. One other thing that happened is there's usually like a little plastic strip here that you pull off. There's this little screen on it that says gaming. When I tried to pull that off of this one, it didn't come off. It just pulled this off of the keyboard, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't really need that gaming logo there. In the web app, you can actually change the RGB effect on this section here. So I just have it synchronized to the rest of the keyboard, which really works for me. I actually prefer it. So I ended up prying this one off on my other one too. But that just goes to show, like from Amazon, this had a ticking SpaceBar. This thing just popped right off. So the Amazon ones, if you like tinkering, might be better. But if you just want something solid out the gate, probably getting from the GravaStar website's better. But yeah, so that's the video. Ticking is completely gone.